Okay. Just before I go into the main topic of the video, I just want to do a follow up on a video I just published on this my car channel on YouTube. So I talked about how you can actually uh focus less on engine when it comes to buying used Peugeot vehicles. That shouldn't be your priority. The condition of the engines. Like I said, if you're in Nigeria and your intention is to buy a used Peugeot vehicle, and a modern one for that matter. In fact, even this vintage classic ones, your priority shouldn't be the condition of engine. I'm not saying if engine is dead, you shouldn't know about it, but that shouldn't be a major determinant of buying that vehicle. The main one that should be your concern is aside the body, interior. What I mean by exterior, interior. Fine, those ones make sense, yeah, but your main focus aside this what body I mentioned is the electrical. You should be worried about the electrical. That should be your main focus. You need to clear that. You need to rule it out. That's the first thing to rule out before you even. If it's in a very bad shape, do not bother. Just walk away. Now, I didn't offer what you could do. There are solutions. Let's assume the engine is bad. I didn't offer, okay, why? Because I know some people say, but I mean, come on, if the engine is bad, don't you think it's going to cost some money to replace it? So, and what if I don't have that money after purchase to replace a faulty weak engine? Fine, it makes sense, but one thing I do know is engine, if they are weak, it won't stop you from using the vehicle. That's one thing about engine. Doesn't mean they are forgivable, but it means it will take a while for eventually to give up. So if an engine is weak, let's say an engine is smoking, it's noisy, just generally the engine is weak. You'll be surprised that that vehicle can still use it for 6 months, if not 12 months in that condition. My point is, getting the vehicle is with as far as every other thing is okay, or at least in a good condition. What I mean okay, I'm not saying perfect. In a condition for you to be able to use the vehicle stress free. Yeah, get the vehicle. If the engine is weak, it has to be replaced, and it's not something that is worth rebuilding. Or maybe it's worth rebuilding but can't afford, because rebuilds actually can cost more sometimes, especially if you go beyond the cylinders, like replacing the rings, the pistons. I get that. So what you could do in this case is just be using the car as long as you don't make a journey, don't travel with the vehicle, because that weakens it faster if the engine is already weak. You only travel with a car that engine is still in good condition. Do not make that mistake. If your engine is weak, if you take it on a long journey, trust me, immediately, if the engine is supposed to serve you for another 6 months, it will kill it that within 2-3 hours. So do not make that mistake. Use it within the city, wherever you are, and drive slowly. Do not push it hard. Trust me, it will serve. The only thing, it will burn more oil. Of course, weak engine will tend to consume more fuel. Not what I mean consume more. Some people start saying, you drink good. No, you notice there's a little bit increase in fuel. It might not even be noticeable, but it consumes a little bit more than a healthy engine, because for engine to struggle to run, it takes more energy. So that energy required will take more fuel. I mean, it means you need to press it a little bit lower. And what I mean is accelerate harder a little bit for the car to be able to pull reasonably. Unlike when the engine is sound, you don't even necessarily need to accelerate, just a small touch, boom. So in that case, you have the time to save up. If you don't have the resources after buying that, if you don't have any money again left, savings, whatever, after buying, maybe you took a loan to complete to buy the vehicle. So you still need some time to be able to save up for replace the engine. Fine, that's what I'm saying. You still have 6 months. It might not last up to 6 months, I don't know. Depending on how bad the engine is already. The point is, you are better off. It will still have that time to keep running the vehicle, let it keep smoking, let it keep making noise. As soon as you have the money, change the engine or rebuild it. That's all. But if your electrical is in a mess, I've said enough in that video. I don't want to waste more time here because this is not the main purpose for this video. So if the electrical is in a mess, you will come back and say, I now understand why you advise people to avoid electrically messed up Peugeot vehicle, to avoid buying them. Okay, so that's by the way. Now to the main reason for this video. So in Nigeria, people, especially for Peugeot vehicles, people don't uh, give a rip sometimes on the security Peugeot put in this vehicle when they were producing them. So, for example, when they buy all these messed up used vehicles, Peugeot cars, ECU keep burning every now and then. So, what they keep doing is they keep buying the one they call free code, the one they remove the immobilizer, because what they usually happen is because they cannot afford probably to buy the complete kit. I mean, use one. Complete kit means engine ECU, PSI unit, and the key. So what do? They will go and buy only the ECU, and they have the what's it called, the immobilizer removed, so that I can work with the PSI. So what that means is anything that can turn the ignition switch and turn it to cranking of the engine. In other words, even if you don't use ignition, anything that can switch on ignition and crank this engine, the car will start. So trust me, see guys, it's very risky. It's very risky. That money you are trying to save, it will cost you. If you are not careful, it will cost you more than, or in fact, you might lose that car. Remember, like I said, anything that can turn the ignition switch and turn it to start position, once engine crank, it will start. I don't know if that is you're okay, comfortable with that. That no form of security anymore on that car. At least electronic. I mean, some will say, I'll go and put what's it called? All this aftermarket security. How much will you spend to do that one when you could actually easily buy the complete kit and secure your car as factory made? Those aftermarket can easily be hacked. I mean, come on, these are like general. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. I know there are also superior ones that can start, but at least even if you want to put the aftermarket one, have your standard one in start, your factory one in start. Because something recently happened. Two Peugeot cars were involved in this. I'm not going to mention the vehicles, so that people might start thinking, oh, I think it might be this one, this vehicle. No. So these are two things I observed personally myself, not I was told. So there are these two cars that we are being worked on. So eventually one of them, they are the same model, the key, ignition key, that's remote key, same thing. So because they all look alike, so the two keys were mixed together. So by the time it was time to take one, to the owner to take the vehicle, one of them took the one key, started the vehicle, boom, it started, and turned the ignition, it started. The owner took the car. The second one, virtually when the owner wanted to take the vehicle, took the key, because that was now the remaining one where the two of them were kept. So now took the remaining key there. Like I said, don't look alike, no difference. Put the ignition, turn the ignition, everything worked. But to crank the engine. Engine was cranking, but immobilizer came up. Immobilized the vehicle. We thought it was a job. I was like, come on, this is a car that, that I've been driven, worked on, then everything. How come? Kept cranking the engine. It kept worked. Now, there was no sign like, oh, no, there's something wrong with this key or something. It just refused. Immobilizer came up. It was not until I now plugged my diagnostic to my PP2000. I started saying the BSI is not recognizing the key, so no matter what you do, engine will not start. So that's how I knew there's a problem between the two. Either the BSI or the keys. Something is wrong between these two. But because the ignition key, remember, because he entered the ignition switch, turned it and cranked the engine, I mean, there's no how to start thinking, but if it wasn't the key, it wouldn't have walked inside the ignition switch. So the suspect didn't even, no one could even think or suspect that, oh, what if this is not actually the key? After all, the other one, the second key that was being taken off before then has started the other vehicle and drove off. To cut the story short, eventually, when we are battering that, now came up that something now happened. The other person now, I think he tried to put it on the door, he now noticed that it wasn't working on the door lock. The first car that drove off with the wrong key. You now notice that, but in the ignition, you could turn it and start, but on the door lock, it wasn't working. So he suspected something could be wrong. Why the other one, we didn't try on the door because, it's being remote controlled, the person has been. So there was nothing to even suspect. I think the first one, the remote control doesn't work or something. So the person just decided to maybe use manual to lock the vehicle, not the remote. But this one is remote. So as he was doing, nothing to suspect. In fact, as he was doing, I think I tested the remote control. It wasn't working. But I assume probably because the BSI is faulty, so that's why it also crashed the remote. It won't work. I mean, if BSI is faulty, why will the remote even work? Because its BSI is actually what controls the remote as well. Remote control. Basically that's what's even the remote control anyway, apart from the key itself. So that what I mean, that's what commands the door to act. Based on the command they are using your remote control to initiate. So that was how we eventually realized. By the time the other person now called and was asked, something is wrong. Why is my door lock misbehaving? Are you sure this is my key? Eventually, the two keys later were exchanged and boom. So what am I saying? Two things, two cars now. Both of them have problems because this incident now shows something that none of us knew about. One, the ignition switch were all faulty. Because if the ignition switch were not faulty, no other key could put it in, but it cannot turn. It doesn't. If the ignition switch were okay, yeah, even if you force the key, even if they can enter inside those slots, ignition switch can't be able to turn them. So meaning they were actually faulty. So that has been established on both vehicles. However, the one that the mobilizer that refused to start was because the engine ECU, the BSI unit, the engine ECU was still intact, BSI unit, all the mobilizers working. Why the one that started was because they call it, what is it called? They call it Virgin Brainbox, free code, all those things. They messed up the ECU. So meaning, and it doesn't matter how new, how good the BSI unit is, anything that can turn the ignition switch, even if your BSI is telling you, hey, immobilizer for the car will start. Even if the BSI refuses to recognize the key, the car will start. So you see, that's what I'm saying. You people should be very careful. If your ECU fails, first thing you need to do, replace it with a proper one. Even if you have to, whatever you need to do, but do not tamper that immobilizer. Even if you have to buy only the ECU, use one and do all your programming so that it still work with your your older BSI and everything. Fine, but do not remove that immobilizer. Avoid anything called free code, Virgin Brainbox, all those things. Avoid them. There are cases where I actually use such ECUs, like if a car ECU fails somewhere. In that case, you need another one to go and recover the car. Yeah. Yeah, use it. I mean, temporarily, yes. But it's not something I only want to keep as to have as a personal, something I use for diagnosis because or my own personal car. Because as far as I'm concerned, I will never do anything to my car, any of my cars to make the engine easy to fail. Doesn't mean it's not possible that they will fail, but I will never put them in the position or condition for them to fail. So that shouldn't be my headache. But for repairs that other people diagnosing, yeah, you could say if the car is already at the workshop, I probably might not bother with it unless maybe the vehicle has broken down somewhere and this is the cause. Probably it might serve that purpose. But my point is avoid electrical connections, electrical kind of repairs that can damage your engine ECU, like bypassing your fan wiring connections, your factory fan, engine cooling system fan connection. One of the reasons that your ECU fails that once you start to mess up with your fan, most time it will end up that because your ECU that controls it. So what most of there are few connections. If it's about 5 wires, about 2 of them or so are from engine ECU. So if you connect them wrong way to damage the ECU. And other things, all these people causing wire here and there, testing anything, most likely will damage your ECU. So avoid that. Then if you are buying cars too, you also need to also be aware that it's possible there are so many connections. Even me, when I'm inspecting, I probably will not be able to see everything because to see everything means you have to strip the entire vehicle. Who will allow you to do that? I will not even allow you. You want to inspect a car, you want to strip pieces everything in a car because you want to confirm what. However, as you are checking, there are some tail signs, there are some things you could see. If you plug your scan tool, there are one or two things you could see. It will give you a kind of, I would say, confirmation. It just that this could is possible. This is most likely possible. Then there's also when you open engine bay, go to some places where they usually do those abuses. You could tell. Oh, if they have touched this place, if they've bypassed wire here, it means most likely the other side they've done something because there are some abuses they usually do on the electrical that will require them to do it on another side of the vehicle, electrically as well, or one of the harnesses. So once you see something like this done here, you know, oh, most likely it's done there. So to avoid going back and forth, you can as well walk away. Or if you are going to buy this car, I'll tell the owner, this is the risk. Sometimes I will tell them, there are some things I will say, I say, there's a chance that if you buy this car, you may end up changing the ECU. Even though it's starting at one, but by the time we reverse all these connections, it's possible the ECU will no longer work well because they did this bypass to make the engine ECU to work because it already has a problem. But they had to bypass something to connect it elsewhere to power whatever the ECU was supposed to power. So by the time you reverse it, eventually the ECU, the car will not run or it will not run well. So you may need to change the ECU. So these are the things so that you know you say, okay, these are your options to walk away or go ahead. So I'm saying when it comes to inspecting car, then when you already have the vehicle, know who you give your car to diagnose electrically. I'm not saying mechanically. Most times you don't necessarily need an expert. Electrically, be very careful. Even when you are giving a local mechanic, give it that strict instruction. See, do not go beyond your I would say what would I call it? If what you are doing is a mechanical, please don't go beyond that. Do the one you stay away from the rest. Otherwise, you end up. And most people they want those their local mechanic. Do everything at that peanut, so I don't have to engage the other person. Let him handle everything. Of course, logically, it makes sense to use one stone to kill so many birds. But then over there outside in the west, yeah, they could probably one person will probably be able to do some of these things. But over here, we tend to specialize, this person will specialize with it. Then there are certain workshops where one person is specialized, one person is specialized, but they all work as a team. Then in that case, you're talking about when you enter into all these companies and everything, they will have various. So even me, sir, no matter how good you are, one person cannot be. You have to be good at one or two. The rest, just okay. But you can't be perfect in all of them. So, hey, I'm just saying, don't say you really know about this because this is something I experienced and I've always known. But actually, this one was a recent something. So I'm warning you people, giving you advice. Do not go and buy ECU because it's so-called free code, anything. Sometimes they may not tell you. Oh, my ECU is faulty. Yeah, how much? You give your mechanic. They might not tell you this is the one they are buying for you, or this one they are going to put. But me, immediately I could diagnose your vehicle, I will know this is what this ECU, this is what has happened already. So and most times when they put all those so-called virgin Brainbox ECU, there's one wrong connection they have to do, which is another problem. They have to do one kind of wrong connection on the vehicle to be able to work with that free so-called free code ECU or something. By that time, they have to go and cut off wire that doesn't need to be cut off. That they created that problem instead. You might come back and reverse it, but I mean, I don't like the idea of cutting and joining wires because it's like a wound. Yeah, you could do everything, so tape it, the wound is there. So unless maybe you end up soldering it and everything, fine. But why even go there in the first place? Anyway, so hope I make sense. I know some people will say have one or two reasons to say I disagree with you. There's nothing wrong with free code. Hey, it's up to you. So like and subscribe and watch out for more videos.